Welcome to LVT-SHOWBIZ, the place to get the fastest, highest quality, most interesting updates and new perspectives on Chinese entertainment. Thanks for watching LVT-SHOWBIZ. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to stay tuned for more exciting stories from the world of Chinese celebrities. Leave your thoughts.
What exactly happened in that moment when Xu Kai appeared on a seemingly ordinary live stream, only for everything to shift the instant the camera angle changed and a woman was seen standing quietly beside him? While in the background, a man was on a phone call, half out of frame, almost as if he had stepped out of another conversation entirely. Within seconds, what was meant to be a light entertainment broadcast turned into a wave of speculation across social media platforms as viewers paused, replayed, and zoomed in on every detail, trying to understand the context behind the scene unfolding in front of them. It was not loud, it was not dramatic in the traditional sense, yet it carried that unmistakable feeling of something unspoken, something layered beneath the surface. And in today's digital world, those subtle, unexplained moments are often the ones that travel the fastest. Kai, already a familiar name to millions, suddenly found himself at the center of renewed attention, not because of an announcement or a performance, but because of a fleeting interaction that left just enough room for imagination to grow. And as always, when curiosity meets ambiguity, the audience begins to write its own story. The live stream itself began in a calm and controlled atmosphere, with Xu Kai engaging in casual conversation, reflecting on his work, and responding to light questions in a relaxed tone. There was no indication that anything unusual was about to happen. However, as the camera slowly widened its view, a woman appeared briefly in the background, positioned slightly to the side, her presence neither confirmed nor explained. At nearly the same time, another figure, a man holding a phone, could be seen engaged in what seemed like an important call, stepping in and out of frame as if managing something off camera. These two brief visual elements, though ordinary in isolation, became the center of attention once the audience noticed them together. The human mind is naturally drawn to patterns, and when two unknown elements appear in a familiar environment, the instinct is to connect them. Was this a professional setting, a behind-the-scenes coordination moment, or simply a coincidental overlap of unrelated individuals? The live stream offered no clarification, and that silence allowed interpretation to flourish. As clips from the broadcast began circulating online, discussion quickly grew in multiple directions. Some viewers focused on the professionalism of Xu Kai, noting how he maintained composure and continued the conversation without disruption, which many interpreted as a sign of experience in handling unpredictable live environments. Others shifted attention to the background figures, attempting to analyze their roles based on limited visual cues. The woman's presence, calm and unobtrusive, led to speculation about whether she was part of the production team or a guest waiting for her segment. Meanwhile, the man on the phone became another point of curiosity, with viewers debating whether he was coordinating logistics or simply handling an unrelated matter during a busy moment. In reality, live stream environments are often far less structured than audiences imagine, especially when multiple teams, schedules, and technical arrangements overlap in real time. Yet from the viewer's perspective, everything is condensed into a single frame, a single second, and that compression naturally intensifies curiosity. What makes moments like this so compelling is not necessarily what is shown, but what is not explained. Xu Kai's continued focus on the conversation created a contrast against the background activity, giving the scene a layered quality that felt almost cinematic. The audience, observing from a distance, begins to fill in the gaps with interpretation shaped by prior knowledge of celebrity culture and behind-the-scenes production environments. In many cases, it is not the event itself that drives engagement, but the emotional space left open for viewers to project their own narratives. This is one of the quiet mechanisms behind modern digital storytelling. Ambiguity becomes content, and silence becomes invitation. As the live stream progressed, the moment passed, yet its impact continued to grow as replay clips and commentary videos emerged, each adding a slightly different perspective, each reinforcing the idea that something noteworthy had occurred, even if the details remained unconfirmed. Shukai presence throughout the broadcast remained steady, and that stability itself became part of the conversation. Viewers often associate public figures with the visible outcome of a moment rather than the process behind it. But live stream environments reveal a different side, where focus, adaptability, and composure are constantly tested. In this case, the subtle background activity only highlight how multiple layers of coordination often exist behind what appears to be a simple live interaction. Production teams, assistants, and technical staff frequently move in and out of frame during live broadcasts, especially when working under time pressure or adjusting to real-time changes. What the audience perceives as a single narrative is, in fact, a collection of simultaneous micro-events happening in parallel. The woman and the man in the background may very well represent this unseen structure, yet the lack of explicit explanations leaves space for imagination, and imagination is what fuels online engagement. As discussion expanded, the tone of audience reaction remained largely curious rather than critical. Many viewers expressed fascination with how quickly a small visual detail could shift the entire focus of a live stream. Others reflected on how modern audiences consume media differently, often pausing frames, isolating moments, and sharing interpretations across platforms within seconds. In this environment, even the most ordinary background movement can become a subject of analysis. It is a reflection of how connected and observant digital audiences have become, and how every broadcast, intentional or not, carries the potential for reinterpretation. Shukai's livestream, in this sense, became less about the content being spoken and more about the environment surrounding it, turning a routine interaction into a wider conversation about visibility, context, and perception in the entertainment world. What remains most interesting is how quickly the narrative evolved beyond the original moment. Within hours, discussions were no longer about the live stream itself, but about what it might represent. This shift from observation to interpretation is a defining feature of modern entertainment culture, where audiences are no longer passive viewers, but active participants in meaning-making. And in that space, every detail matters, even the ones that were never meant to carry significance. The woman standing quietly beside Shukai, the man speaking softly on the phone, and Shukai himself continuing the broadcast without interruption, all became pieces of a larger puzzle that the audience collectively tried to assemble. Whether or not there was ever a deeper story behind those moments became secondary to the experience of discussing them. In the end, the live stream served as a reminder of how easily attention can shift and how powerful subtlety can be in a world driven by constant visibility. Shukai's presence provided continuity, while the background created curiosity, and together they formed a moment that resonated beyond its original context. It is often these unplanned intersections of routine and ambiguity that capture the most engagement, not because they reveal everything, but because they reveal just enough to make people wonder. And if you have been following stories like this, where small moments spark larger conversations, where a single frame can open multiple interpretations, then you are already part of a growing community that looks beyond surface-level narratives. Thank you for watching and staying with LVT Showbiz. If you enjoy deep storytelling, behind-the-scenes perspectives, and carefully crafted entertainment analysis, consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue exploring the unseen layers of the entertainment world, bringing forward stories that invite curiosity and reflection. Stay with us, because the next story is always closer than you think, and sometimes it begins in the background of a moment you almost missed.